My brothers and sisters, listen well. Life is but a vapor, here today and gone tomorrow. Many chase after riches, fame, and pleasure, forgetting that every breath is a step closer to eternity. The question is not if you will leave this earth, it is when. And when that moment comes, what will happen next? The first 7 days after death are not like the days of the living. The body remains, but the soul steps into the unseen realm, into a reality that cannot be reversed. No more time to chase dreams. No more time to make things right. No more time to pretend that this world is all there is. On that first day, the veil is lifted. The soul stands before the truth it ignored or embraced. No more distractions, no more lies, only the weight of eternity. By the second day, the things of this world fade into nothing. Every possession, every title, every fleeting pleasure, it no longer matters. What remains is what was stored in eternity, the deeds, the choices, the faith or the lack of it. By the third day, the soul begins to understand this is forever. No second chances, no negotiations, no turning back. The time of decision was in life, and now the destination is set. By the fourth day, there is either overwhelming joy or unbearable regret. Some souls are at peace, surrounded by light, welcomed into eternal rest. Others realize they wasted their chance, that they spent their days chasing shadows and ignoring the truth. By the fifth day, the separation is clear. The righteous and the wicked do not walk the same road. The soul does not roam aimlessly, it follows the path chosen in life. The decisions made in secret, the faith held or rejected, it all becomes the foundation of eternity. By the sixth day, those who walked in righteousness rejoice. They understand that they have entered into an inheritance that will never fade. They do not fear the future because they are secure in a kingdom that cannot be shaken. But those who lived for themselves, who ignored the call to righteousness, realize the full weight of their choices. It is not the judgment of men they face, but the judgment of eternity itself. And by the seventh day, the truth is undeniable. Life was the test. Eternity is the result. So I ask you, are you ready? Because this world will pass away, but what you do now determines what happens next. Do not be deceived by the temporary. Do not live as though you will never stand before the truth. Prepare yourself, walk in the way of righteousness, store up treasures that will last, and when your 7 days come, let them be filled with victory, not regret. Amen. Life is a fleeting moment, a breath that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Every heartbeat is a step closer to the inevitable, yet so many live as though time is endless. People chase after wealth, status, and pleasures, believing that these things will bring them fulfillment, but they forget one undeniable truth. Nothing in this world lasts forever. Every possession, every achievement, every earthly success will one day fade into dust. The houses people build, the cars they drive, the careers they pour their energy into, all of it is temporary. But beyond this life, beyond the limits of flesh and bone, eternity stands unshaken. The greatest deception is believing that this life is all there is. The world distracts with entertainment, with ambitions, with temporary highs, making people forget that they are merely passing through. The body weakens, the years slip away, and one day every person must face the reality that they cannot escape. This world was never meant to be the final destination. Yet, so many live in denial, clinging to things that perish, ignoring the truth that eternity is waiting. The question is not whether eternity exists. The question is whether one is ready for it. From the moment a person is born, time is already counting down. Every sunrise and sunset is a reminder that the clock does not stop. People measure their lives in years, in accomplishments, in milestones, but what happens when those things come to an end? What happens when the breath is gone, when the strength fades, when the hands that once built and achieved can no longer move? The answer is simple: life ends. But the soul continues. And where the soul goes is determined not by wealth, not by fame, not by human recognition, but by the choices made in this short and temporary existence. Look around at the world. Cities rise and fall, kings and rulers come and go, trends change, and what was once valuable becomes forgotten. The empires of men crumble, the greatest minds of history are reduced to names in books, and the riches that people spent their lives pursuing are left behind for someone else. Nothing in this world is permanent. Yet despite seeing this reality, so many continue to chase after what cannot last. They live for temporary satisfaction, ignoring the eternal consequence. They pour their time, their energy, their devotion into things that will one day be meaningless. The greatest tragedy is not death itself. It is living a life unprepared for what comes after. Some people believe they have time. They tell themselves that they will seek the truth later, that they will change their ways when they are older. But who promised tomorrow? Who guaranteed another breath? The truth is, time is not in anyone's control. Life can change in an instant. A single moment can be the difference between continuing on and stepping into eternity. Yet the world lives in ignorance, pretending that time is an endless resource, when in reality, every second is borrowed, every breath is a gift that could be taken at any moment. Those who understand the temporary nature of life walk differently. They do not waste their days on things that fade. They do not invest in what will not last. Instead, they fix their eyes on what is eternal. They build their foundation on truth, on righteousness, on things that will stand when everything else crumbles. While others chase after fleeting pleasures, they store up treasures that cannot be stolen. While the world focuses on the temporary, they prepare for what will never end. Consider this. If a person were given a home to live in for a short time, knowing they would soon have to leave it behind, would they spend all their energy decorating it as if they would stay forever? Would they spend all their wealth investing in something they could not keep? Or would they prepare for their true home, the place where they would remain? Yet this is exactly what so many do. They build their lives as though they will never leave, as though they will live forever, forgetting that one day, everything they worked for will be left behind. The wise do not live for the temporary. They live for what lasts beyond this world. Look at the lives of those who put all their hope in the things of this earth. They may have riches, but they are never satisfied. They may have success, but they are never at peace. They may have power, but they are always afraid of losing it, because deep inside their soul knows the truth. None of it will last, and when the end comes, none of it will matter. No one takes their wealth with them. No one carries their status into eternity. The only thing that remains is what was done in preparation for what comes after. Time moves forward, never stopping, never slowing down. Every day people enter eternity, whether they are ready or not. The young and the old, the rich and the poor, the famous and the unknown. Death does not discriminate. It comes to all, and when it does, only one thing matters. Were they prepared? Did they live for what is eternal, or did they waste their days chasing what fades? The greatest mistake a person can make is ignoring the truth that life is short and eternity is long. What good is it to gain everything the world offers, only to lose what truly matters? What benefit is there in building a kingdom on earth, only to leave it all behind? They do not store up what can be lost. They invest in what will never be taken away. Do not be deceived by the illusion of time. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that there will always be another day. The world teaches people to chase dreams, to build wealth, to pursue happiness at all costs. But in the end, none of it will follow them. What matters is not how much was gained on earth, but what was prepared for eternity. Those who understand this truth walk in purpose. They do not waste their days on things that have no lasting value. They do not live in fear because they know their future is secure. They do not seek fulfillment in things that cannot satisfy because they have found what truly matters. They live with the understanding that their time on earth is short, but their existence does not end when the body stops breathing. They know that the choices they make now will determine their place in eternity. So the question remains, how are you living? Are you building your life on things that will pass away, or are you preparing for what will never fade? Are you investing in what is eternal, Or are you wasting time on what will not last? Every day is an opportunity to choose wisely, to set aside what is temporary and focus on what truly matters. The time is now. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Do not wait until it is too late to realize that life is short and eternity is forever. Make the decision to walk in truth, to seek what is unshakable, to prepare for what is beyond this life. Because when the final breath is taken, when the last heartbeat fades, there will be no second chances. What was done in life will determine what happens in eternity. Choose wisely. The moment a person takes their last breath, everything changes. What was once unseen becomes visible, what was once ignored becomes undeniable, and what was once considered far away becomes the present reality. The things that mattered on earth, wealth, fame, status, possessions, no longer have any value. The body that was once strong now lies still, empty, separated from the soul that gave it life. The first days after death are not like the days of the living. They are the days of revelation, the unveiling of truth that was always there but often overlooked. The soul, now free from the distractions of the physical world, enters a realm that it has always sensed but never fully understood. No more deception, no more illusions, no more pretending that life was just about earthly success. The truth is now fully revealed, and it cannot be changed. The moment of death is not the end. It is the beginning of something far greater and far more permanent. The life that was lived in the flesh has determined what happens next. No amount of regret, no amount of wishing, no amount of pleading can alter the reality of what the soul now faces. Those who spent their lives seeking truth, walking in righteousness and preparing for eternity will find themselves in a place of peace. The burdens of the world are gone, the struggles of the flesh have ended, and they are met with a joy that cannot be described. There is no fear, no doubt, no anxiety about what comes next. They know they are exactly where they were meant to be. Every sacrifice made on earth, every trial endured, every moment spent seeking what was eternal was worth it. They do not look back with regret. They look forward with confidence, knowing they have stepped into the fulfillment of everything they believed in. But for others, the first days after death bring a realization that is terrifying. The distractions of the world are gone, the lies they believed no longer hold weight, and they are left face to face with the truth they spent their lives avoiding. The things they valued most, money, power, pleasure, are meaningless now. The opportunities they ignored, the warnings they dismissed, the moments they were given to turn toward truth, all come rushing back. They realize that life was not about building a kingdom on earth, but about preparing for eternity, and they see with painful clarity that they were unprepared. There is no more pretending. The masks that people wore in life, the identities they crafted, the images they tried to uphold are stripped away. No one cares about earthly titles anymore. No one is impressed by success. No one is respected because of what they owned or who they knew. The only thing that matters is the condition of the soul, and in that moment the soul stands alone, fully exposed, fully aware of its destiny. The first days after death reveal what was hidden all along. Many people live their lives believing they have time. They assume they can put off thinking about eternity until later, until they are older, until they have accomplished all they desire. But death does not wait. It does not announce its arrival. It does not give warnings or second chances. When the moment comes, there is no turning back. Some souls experience overwhelming peace. They are welcomed into a reality that is filled with light, with love, with the presence of something greater than anything they ever experienced on earth. They realize they are home, that they have stepped into what they were created for. Every tear is wiped away, every sorrow forgotten, and they begin a journey that will never end. They do not wonder if they are in the right place. They know. Others experience a darkness they never imagined possible. They feel a separation that is unlike anything they knew in life. They understand too late that they chose to live for themselves instead of for what was eternal. They see too late that they ignored the truth when it was presented to them. The weight of that realization is heavier than anything they ever carried on earth. The regret is unbearable, yet it cannot be undone. They long for another chance, another moment to make things right, but time has run out. The first days after death reveal the true nature of everything that was once hidden. Many people believe that as long as they are good by the world's standards, as long as they are kind, as long as they live a decent life, they will be fine. But goodness by human standards is not the measure of eternity. The world defines success in ways that do not matter in the realm beyond. It glorifies power, riches, and pleasure, but none of these things hold any weight after death. The only thing that matters is whether a person lived in preparation for what was to come. Those who spent their lives chasing temporary things find themselves empty. They stand before the truth and they have nothing to show for all they worked for. They see their lives from a new perspective, not through the eyes of ambition, but through the eyes of eternity, and for many that realization is devastating. The things they thought were important were distractions. The things they ignored were the things that mattered most. The truth is undeniable. No one can say they were not given a chance. No one can claim they did not hear the call to seek something greater. The voice of truth was always there, whispering in the quiet moments, speaking through experiences, calling in ways both gentle and powerful. But many silenced that voice. They chose the comforts of the world over the promises of eternity. And now, as they stand beyond the threshold of life, they realize the weight of that choice. The soul does not forget. The life that was lived is imprinted on it forever. The choice is made, the path followed, the beliefs held, all remain. And as the soul steps into eternity, it is guided by those choices. There is no confusion, there is no uncertainty. The path is clear because it was chosen long before the moment of death. Some experience joy beyond anything they ever imagined. They understand now that their struggles on earth were temporary, that their sacrifices were not in vain. They see that every moment spent in pursuit of truth, every act of love, every decision made in faith was leading them to this place. They would not change a thing. They would not trade their eternal reward for all the riches of the world. They are free, truly free, and they will never again experience sorrow, fear, or loss. Others experience the weight of their decisions with crushing clarity. They see that they lived for themselves, that they ignored the truth, that they wasted the precious time they were given. They would give anything for another chance, but there is no going back. They cannot argue, they cannot plead, they cannot change their fate. It has already been sealed by the life they lived. The first days after death strip away every illusion. They reveal what the world tried to hide. They expose the reality that many refused to acknowledge while they were alive. And in that moment, each soul knows beyond any doubt that eternity is real, that the choices made in life had eternal consequences, and that there is no turning back. What a person believed, how they lived, what they valued. It all becomes clear. The temporary things of life fade into nothingness, and only what was eternal remains. Some step into everlasting peace, others into endless regret, but all understand one thing. The truth was always there. They simply chose whether to embrace it or ignore it. There are only two destinations. From the moment life begins, a path is set, a journey starts, and every choice, every thought, every action moves a person closer to one of two final places. Many live as though there are countless options, as though they can decide their own way after death, as though there will be an opportunity to negotiate their fate when this life ends. But the truth is clear. There are only two destinations, and every soul will arrive at one or the other. There is no middle ground, no third option, no place of uncertainty. The moment the last breath is taken, the journey is complete, and the final destination is revealed. The people spend their lives making plans, setting goals, chasing dreams, believing that they are in control of their own destiny. They build their futures with money, careers, relationships, and personal ambitions, yet most fail to ask the only question that truly matters. Where will I go when my time here is over? They prepare for everything except eternity. They insure their homes, their cars, their health, but they do not insure their souls. They live as though they will never die, as though they have all the time in the world, but time is an illusion. It does not belong to them. It moves forward without their permission, bringing them closer to a moment they cannot escape. There is no greater deception than believing that the end is far away. No one knows the day or the hour. Some leave this world in their old age, but others are called sooner than expected. The young, the strong, the successful, all are subject to the same reality. Death does not ask if a person is ready. It does not wait for a convenient time. It comes, and when it does, everything that was once important is left behind. The money, the possessions, the reputation, the unfinished plans, none of it matters. In that moment, the only thing that remains is the soul and the destination it has chosen. Some believe that good deeds are enough. They assume that if they lived a decent life, if they were kind, if they gave to charity, they will naturally arrive at the right place. But eternity is not determined by human standards. The world may call a person good, but goodness is not measured by the opinions of men. It is measured by something far greater, far higher than anything the earth can comprehend. The world values success, power, and self-achievement, but these things hold no weight when the soul stands at the threshold of eternity. At the end of life, there are only two destinations, one of everlasting peace and one of eternal separation. The first is a place of joy beyond human understanding, a place where every sorrow, every hardship, every tear is erased. It is a place of rest, of fulfillment, of completion. Those who enter it do not look back with regret. They do not wish they had lived differently, because they know they have arrived at the place they were created for. Every sacrifice they made, every moment they spent preparing for eternity was worth it. They experience a peace that cannot be described, a love that cannot be compared to anything in this world. They are home, and they will never again experience pain, fear, or loss. But the other destination is far different. It is a place of regret, a place where the weight of past choices becomes unbearable. It is a place where the truth is fully known, yet it is too late to change the outcome. The moment the soul arrives, it understands everything with perfect clarity. It sees the opportunities it ignored, the truth it rejected, the time it wasted. It realizes that life was not just about earthly success, that the warnings were real, that the distractions of the world led it away from what truly mattered. And now, there is no going back. There is no second chance, no way to undo the past. The choices made in life have determined the final destination, and the door to change is closed forever. Some will say that this is unfair, that there should be another way, another opportunity after death to make things right. But fairness is not about giving endless chances. It is about revealing the truth and allowing each person to decide while they still have time. Every day on earth is an opportunity. Every breath is a gift, a chance to choose the right path. No one is forced into one destination or the other. Each person makes their own decision, step by step, day by day. And when life comes to an end, the choice has already been made. The world offers many distractions. It tells people to focus on wealth, on pleasure, on temporary happiness, but it never reminds them of the reality that comes after. It never warns them that every moment spent chasing the things of the world is a moment lost in preparing for eternity. It keeps them busy, entertained, consumed with the present, so they never stop to ask where they are truly headed. And when the end comes, they realize the deception too late. Some understand the truth early. They live with purpose, knowing that this world is not their final home. They do not waste time chasing what will fade. They build their lives on things that will last beyond the grave. They are not distracted by the lies of the world because they see clearly. They know that the struggles of this life are temporary, that the rewards of eternity are far greater than anything this earth can offer. They do not fear death because they know their destination is secure. They walk with confidence, with peace, with assurance that they have chosen the right path. But others delay. They say they will think about eternity later. They tell themselves they have time, that they will focus on these things when they are older. Yet, time does not wait. The years pass quickly, and before they realize it, life is nearing its end. And if they have spent their days ignoring the truth, living for themselves, avoiding the decision they knew they needed to make, They will find themselves at the end of the road unprepared, and in that moment they will know beyond all doubt that they made the wrong choice. There is no greater sorrow than realizing the truth when it is too late to change. No greater pain than understanding that the opportunity was there all along, yet it was ignored. Some will try to argue, to make excuses, to justify why they did not prepare for eternity, but excuses will not change the outcome. The reality is simple. There are only two destinations, and the time to choose is now. Many assume that eternity is complicated, that it is a mystery too difficult to understand. But the truth has been made clear. It is not hidden, it is not impossible to grasp. The problem is not lack of knowledge. It is the unwillingness to listen. It is the desire to live for the present, to chase after comfort, to ignore the reality of what is to come. The world tells people to enjoy life, to focus on the here and now, to worry about eternity later, but later is not promised. Every moment spent ignoring the truth is a moment that cannot be reclaimed. There is a path that leads to life and a path that leads to separation. Every step taken in this life moves a person closer to one or the other. The choice is not made at the moment of death. It is made in the way life is lived. Each decision, each priority, each belief is shaping the final outcome. And when the last breath is taken, there is no reversing the journey. The soul arrives at its destination, and the truth is revealed in full. Some will rejoice, knowing they have entered into eternal peace. Others will grieve, knowing they have lost everything that truly mattered. But no one will be able to deny that they had the opportunity to choose. The truth was always there. The warnings were always given. The decision was always in their hands. The only question is whether they took it seriously before it was too late.